Hi guys, another short video with questions you might have for the MCAT. So those questions are about the human eye. So let's look at the human eye. I talk about it in the lecture. So about the size here, that size is about 2 centimeter, okay, in this direction. So here you have the cornea. So the cornea will be the most, well, that will refract the light the most. So the cornea here will have like an index of refraction of about 1.4. You see, the curvature here will be the smallest. So it looks a little bit like when you take a half, like here, if you take half um, of um, of a disc here, you see you're gonna get refraction. So it's behaving like a converging lens. So that's what's happening with the cornea. And then here is just some liquid, and there you have also some liquid. This one is called the aqueous humor. Here is vitreous humor. The index of refraction for those are very close to the index of refraction of water. And then you have the lens. So the lens, the size of the lens here, the curvature of the lens is controlled by muscles attached here, such as you can change the focal distance of that lens, right? So if you are trying to read very close, that lens will have to increase in size, so the focal distance will decrease. If you are trying to look very far away, so the muscles will contract, then the lens, will get smaller, and it's going to be thinner. Okay, and then here you have the retina. So the eye here can control the refractive power of the lens. And here you have the retina. It's like our screen, and the image will be formed on the retina. So here you have cones and rods, and then light will hit those codes and sensors. They are like sensors. And then you have electrical impulses that are sent through the optic nerve, and that goes to our brain. So, for example, if you have a healthy eye, a distant object here, you see the lens is relaxed, the image will be on the retina, and it's going to be real upside down. And the sensor here will be able to translate that as an image in our brain. And if the object is very close, then the lens has to be adjusting, so it's going to contract, the muscles will contract, and it will make the lens thicker here, so we still will be still able to see the object. Okay, so that's how the human eye, or the anatomy of the human eye. Here I have found this also interesting, except it doesn't show here. It's okay. So it just show you the different part of the eye. Okay, so let's look at the first question. Number 22. So in that case, it's just using the equation, the thin lens equation. And you just have to use the fact that the eye is about two centimeters, right? So the object is at 2 meters, and this distance is 2 centimeters, and the question is find the focal distance. So it's just a field length equation. And so the image here will be 2 centimeters, so 0.02. The object is at 2 meters, equals 1 over f, and that's going to be equals to 50. Okay, so that is called the how do we call that? The power of the lens. But we want to find the inverse of that, right? So f equals the focal distance is 1 over 50, which is 0.0198 meters, which is about 0.02 meters. That will be the focal distance. So let's see if we have the answer. So the answer will be D. So farsightedness. So farsightedness meaning you can see far, but you cannot see close. Okay, so let's see if we have that issue here. So farsightedness, that means you can see something very, very far, but when the object is very close, then it will be fuzzy. Okay, because actually the image will be formed here beyond the retina. Okay, so that happens for two reasons. Either you are getting old, a person is getting old, so the muscles here get stiff, so the lens cannot be contracted and bring that image here on the retina. Okay, so with a healthy eye, let's see if we have a healthy eye here. Healthy eye, you see, when the object is close, the lens becomes thicker and you bring the image on the retina. So if you have, if you cannot see close, if you cannot see close, that means for two reasons. Either the muscles are unable to contract, right? Because you are getting old, or maybe your eye here is squeezed in this direction, right? So you are missing the image there. So let's look at the answer. Cornea too curved. No, that's not the reason. Cornea not curved enough. Yes, that could be one reason, because that means there is not enough refraction. That's one reason. Number two, muscles not able to contract. That could be it also. So 2 and 3. 2 and 3, right? 2 and 3, that will be B. Okay, so two things can happen. We are just born with it, and this is not curved enough. Or that means you are old and those muscles are not doing their work. Okay. So how we can fix that? We can fix that with magnifying glass to add some refractive power to help your eye and to bring back the object here on the retina. So the lens here will bring the image here at that point where you can see. That would be the idea. Okay, so let's look at other question. Number 24. Did I do number 23? Yes. So number 24. So when the muscle contracts, what's going to happen? The eye assume a more rounded shape. Yes, because the muscles are all around the eye, so they contract. So it's going to make the eye more round. Not true. The focal length of the eye decrease. Yes, right? Because if you have more refraction, that means the focal length will get smaller. So the answer are 1 and 3. So we talk about that when we take a lens, you change the radius of curvature. See if you make the radius smaller, right? So that means the lens gets thicker, the size here. So the curve here is smaller, so that makes the lens thicker. You see the focal distance will decrease. And if you make the lens thinner, okay, so the curvature is smaller, the focal distance increases, right? So it doesn't have the same refractive power. So the answer is A. Let me check. Yes, A. So number 25, nearsightedness. So what's nearsightedness? It's just the opposite. We have farsightedness. Nearsightedness. Here, nearsightedness is when you can see something close, but not something far. So that will be myopia. That's what happens. So what's happening is that the eye here is flattened, kind of flattened like an egg. And you see here the image is in front of the retina. So what you need to have is a diverging lens to bring that image here farther away. Okay, so that means you cannot see farther than that point. So the diverging lens here bring back the first image here. So then you can see. And I think I have like a small simulation that will be far-sightedness, and I want near-sightedness. So near-sightedness, you see the image of your LED is formed here. So you need to have a not convex, you need to have a concave lens. And that will fix it because you bring back the image here. So let's see what type. So we need a concave. We need a concave lens, so answer is B. So most of the bending of light through the eye occurs because of so here you just have to know that. Okay, yeah, it's taking back to the anatomy of the eye. So the parts, so you have different components. You have the cornea, you have this liquid here, the lens, that liquid there. And the most refraction happens because of the cornea, because it has the smallest curvature. Okay, so is that just something to know? So the answer is C. Yes, C. So here you have to read the question. The index of refraction of most material is inversely proportional to the wavelength of light. So if the wavelength is small, then the index of refraction will be large. Okay, so that means there will be more refractive power. So if you have yellow light that will be focused on the retina, what's going to happen with blue light? Well, blue light has a smaller wavelength, right? It has the smallest wavelength of all the visible light. So it means it will have the largest index of refraction. So a larger index of refraction, so it means it will be refracted the most. So if it's refracted the most, it means that the image will be in front of the retina, right? Because if it's refracted more, so blue, maybe it's going to be here and yellow is going to be there. So the answer is in front of the retina. So that will be answer A. Okay, because remember, blue or violet, okay, even smaller wavelength, it will refract the most because the index of refraction is the largest. Okay, so if we go back to the eye, if you have now farsightedness, so it means the image is beyond the retina, so you can help using a convex lens, right, which is just a magnifying glass, which is very, very cheap to buy at the dollar store for a few dollars. Nearsightedness, of course, it's going to be the most expensive lens to buy. I lost my simulation. No, here it is. Okay. I think we are done because that's it. We are done.